the chi-square distribution. What it is and how we apply it in real life situation when we conduct research or even in a study. There's a previous video I've actually made where I tried to lay a foundation on what the chi-square distribution itself is all about. You will do well to check out that video in the above link so that you can have a clear understanding of what the chi-square distribution or the chi-square statistics itself is all about and how to appropriately apply it. My name is Dr. Felix Ayodele, and this is Research and Statistics. If this is the first time you are coming across my video, you will do well to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also share this with as many colleagues, friends that may actually benefit from it. So let's get started. Now, before we go into what the chi-square statistic is all about, I would like to go through what I call the learning objectives. So the idea is that at the end of this presentation, you should be able to define what the chi-square distribution itself is all about, identify the different types of chi-square distribution, and you should be able to apply it, understand the application, and also apply it to your own study. And of course, we are going to attempt to perform a few chi-square tests with certain given examples. So let's start by discussing what the chi-square distribution itself is all about. The chi-square distribution is actually used to test the relationship, or call it the association, between categorical variables. We usually use it to compare what is expected to be seen when we make a claim or a hypothesis, compare with what we see when we get even to the field. Sometimes we could use it to compare even proportion across different groups. Now, basically, we have three types of chi-square tests. The first is the test of goodness of fit. The second is the test of independence. The third is the test of homogeneity. Now, let's look at the formula of the chi-square statistic generally. Now, the formula is stated as a summation of the difference between the observed and the expected frequency, all squared, divided by the expected frequency. So, the O there represents the observed frequency. The E there also represents the expected frequency. Good. So, what are the assumptions of the chi-square statistics? Every statistical test or distribution has assumptions. These are conditions under which such tests can actually be valid when applied to a particular study. Now, the first assumption under the chi-square distribution is the fact that data that we use it for must be categorical data. Okay? When we are dealing with data that actually group observation variables into different classes, group, category, we say they are categorical. So that is the first underlying assumption. You can't apply it to those ones that are not categorical in nature. Now, the next assumption is that our observation must be independent, okay? And thus, expected frequency must be greater than or equal to 5. And that is the rule of thumb that is very important in chi-square statistics. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the concept of contingency table. The contingency table is an integral part of chi-square statistics because it is a frequency distribution table that helps us to explain the pattern of our categorical variable. We display our frequency distribution either in two or more category variables. Basically, we have different types of contingency table. You can have 2 by 2, 2 by 3, as the case may be, depending on the number of variables you are trying to actually compare. So this contingency table helps us to show how variables actually interact or are associated or they relate with one another. So, like I mentioned, we have the common example of our contingency table is the 2 by 2 contingency table, where we have column for the disease, column for the non-disease, and we could also have the vaccinated enrolled and the unvaccinated enrolled. Now, it's important when we construct contingency table that the positive item must be starting our column as well as our row. So this is the configuration that makes it appropriate for use. Okay, the observed values are what the chi-square actually tests in analysis. Now, another concept we need to understand when dealing with chi-square statistics is the concept of the degree of freedom. Now, the degree of freedom concept differs from one chi-square test to another. For the goodness of fit type of chi-square test, the degree of freedom is the difference between our constant and 1. While for independent tests, we have the row minus 1, all in bracket, the column minus 1, all in bracket, we find the product of the two. While it is the same for the test of homogeneity. Now, let's look at the decision rule. Now, the concept of decision rule cuts across different types of statistical tests. This is where we make decision on whether to reject our null hypothesis or fail to reject it. So, same way we do for other statistical tests, we will have to compare our chi-square calculated with the chi-square critical to make our decision. Usually, if our chi-square calculated is more than the critical, then we're going to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, and if otherwise, we'll fail to reject our null hypothesis. Of course, that is when we are comparing the chi-square value. Sometimes we may choose to use the p-value, but of course, if it is until when the p-value is less than 0.05 that we consider rejecting our null hypothesis. Now, let's look at the chi-square test of independence, one of the three chi-square test statistics. Now, what does it, how is it applied, and how is it, what does it relate to? Now, usually the chi-square test of independence is used to test if categorical variables are related in a single population. Okay, we are dealing with a population and we took sample from that population. We are looking at the variables in that population. These variables actually put members of that population in different categories. Say the male category, the female category, the yes category, the no category, the true category, or call it the false category. So we want to know if two categorical variables actually relate with one another. Maybe in terms of gender, male and performance. Okay, maybe in terms of disease status and vaccination status. So this is how we apply the test of independence. So the component for our chi-square test of independence include the categorical variable we are interested in and the fact that we are dealing with a single population. Now let's have an example of the chi-square test of independence. Now the first one, we're going to be looking at vaccination versus disease. So the question here is there an association between vaccination status and disease occurrence in cattle? So the variables of interest include vaccination, where you are going to have yes or no. The yes or no puts the member of this particular population in two categories. I mean the cattle this time around. Vaccinated, not vaccinated. Also, the second variable is the disease. Now, if the animal is diseased, that is presence of disease and absence of disease, it also puts the head into what? Into category. So this is a great example of our test of independence for chi-square. Now let's see another example. Now, in this case, we'll be looking at feed versus mortality. Now, the question is there a relationship between feed type and mortality in poultry? Now, what are our variables in this case? We have the feed type category, we have the mortality category. The feed type category, we can have feed A and feed B. We can have, for mortality, alive or dead. So you can appreciate that in each examples I've projected so far, the variable type places the member of this population of interest, our target population, in categories. And that is why we say the chi-square test is actually appropriate when we are dealing with categorical what? Categorical variable. Now let's look at the second example of our chi-square test statistic, which is the test of homogeneity. Now, the test of homogeneity is used to compare distribution across different populations. Now, don't forget that for the chi-square test of independence, we are dealing with one population. For the chi-square test of homogeneity, we are dealing with two populations. In this case, we look at distributions across different populations. Let's see a few examples. Now, the first example here is farm versus infection rate. Now, the question is, do 3 farms have the same distribution of infection rate? So, number 1, we have our grouping. Okay, the first variable put them in 3 groups: farm A, farm B, and farm C. Now, the outcome is whether they are infected or not infected. Now, what you observe here is that the grouping tells us the different population group. Okay, we are dealing with one population, another population, another population, and that is the different farm group. And then we look at the infection. Okay, the infection status here. Let's look at another example. Now we have an example on species versus vaccine. Now the question is, do different animal species like goat, sheep, cattle respond similarly to a vaccine? Now in this case, we have species. So you can appreciate we have the goat population, the sheep population, and the cattle population. Okay, and then we have our outcome variable. Okay, that is the category, the 2 categories: responded, not responded. So you can begin to differentiate between the test of independence and the test of homogeneity. Homogeneity is looking at different populations, while test of independence is looking at same population but different variables within the same population. Now let's look at the third example of our chi-square statistic, which is the chi-square goodness of fit test. Now, the chi-square goodness of fit test is used to compare observed data with an expected distribution. We usually have the 2 components, the observed data and the expected distribution. So let's see a few examples for clarity. Now, the first example here is on parasitemia. Now, does the distribution of parasites level follow an equal distribution? Okay, does the distribution of parasite level, whether low, medium, or high, follow an equal distribution? Usually when we deal with chi-square test of goodness of fit, we are trying to make a claim in favor of the null hypothesis, stating that, well, at different parasitic level, the distribution is actually the same, low, high. So now, if this is actually true, we expect that they will have the same level. Okay, that is the whole essence of goodness of fit test. Now, what we'll now do after is that we're going to collect our sample, and that will be our observe. We now want to compare the observe with the expected. Okay, let's see another example for clarity. Now, the second example here is on disease case. Are disease cases across season evenly distributed? Now, it simply means that if disease cases across season are evenly distributed, let's say we are dealing with rabies infection, it simply means the number of cases we are going to see in the rainy season will be equal to the number of cases we are going to see in the dry season. That is what is expected. So that is what we call the concept of expected distribution. Okay, if the performance of male and female are the same, then if 10 male passed, 10 female should also pass. That is the expected. But in chi-square test of goodness of fit, the next thing to do is to take a sample and investigate that particular claim. And whatever we got from that particular sample we have taken, will be our observed. So that makes the goodness of fit test unique in trying to establish the difference between our expected and that of what? Our observed. Now let's look at a quick summary of what I've said so far. Now, so we have the independent chi-square test of independence, which look at two variables if two variables are related within a population, while homogeneity test looks at distribution of a same variable across different groups. Again, for independence, two or more variables within a population. For homogeneity test, we look at one variable across different groups, while the goodness of fit test looks at our expected data pattern as against our observed data pattern. So the easy way to actually remember this whole lot of explanation is to view the test of independence as looking at the relationship between variables, while test of homogeneity looks at variable comparison across group, while the goodness of fit test look at how a variable actually fit an expected pattern. So this is the module we are going to take on chi-square statistics. I'd like to hear from you. If you find this interesting, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I want you to drop your comment. If you have any question, please drop it, and I'll be glad to respond to it in the comment section. And if you have any topic you want me to treat on chi-square statistics, please don't hesitate to drop it. I will be glad to do it in my next video. So thanks for listening. Now I'll see you in my next video.